For the latest top tips, reviews and advice, please subscribe below.
Hello and welcome to Attwoolls Outdoors with me, Mike. Today I'm giving you a bit of a tutorial video slash pitching video really on the brand new Outdoor Revolution Cayman T2 awning. So what we'll do is we'll basically pitch this up, show you how it works and obviously how to pack it down as well. So first and foremost what we'll do is we're going to obviously grab her out of the bag, pull her out quite nice and neatly. Now what I'd recommend doing is if you have got a footprint at this point here, it'd be very good to put it down, just protect the base of it itself, just makes life a little bit easier, as well as kind of just, well, it stops any muck, mud or freshly cut grass getting onto the base of the awning, so that's definitely a must. Now, depending on how you're looking to connect it to your vehicle, there are numerous ways. For me, I'm just going to basically feed it directly into the wind-up awning itself. So to do that, I mean, ideally you can look at buying like a fixing kit and going directly in. But like I say, for the purpose of the video, because I'm literally putting it up and taking it straight back down again, I'm just going to feed it directly in, which is a pain if you want to drive away, but for a static awning, works perfectly fine. So we'll feed it into the rail to start with. Get it nicely positioned on the front. I'm going into the wind-up awning itself, but you can, like I said, put it onto a, be it a Riemann rail or a multi-rail of some sort. So there's lots of different kind of options you can look at. We want to then sort of position it kind of on the vehicle. So what you want to make sure is kind of you cover certainly the front door. So I've gone back fully in the wind-out. So make sure you've got enough room for it to slide back quite happily. So once we're kind of happy with the position of it on the awning itself, that's the optional kind of throw guide point if you wish to use it. We're going to basically peg it firmly against the sides of the camper just to get that position directly out as such. So I'm going to use my own pegs for this. Ideally you want to take it, splay it out a little bit, but you want to go a good chunk, maybe half a foot or so underneath the camper van. It's easier to go deeper to start with because you can always obviously bring it back away. It's always harder to get it closer to the caravan. It's much easier to obviously push it further away. So there's no problems going kind of too close to the vehicle. Just means you're sort of a bit safer in the fact that if need be, you can loosen off or re-peg it underneath. It certainly tends to be a little bit more awkward to get to. So now I've kind of got it fixed against the vehicle itself. Next thing I want to do is basically, because it's nice and square, is we'll just pull it out, and we want to peg almost, again, like we're pegging a rectangle. Just kind of pull it directly out, get this pegging point in line with that one. I would probably slacken off the points a little bit just to give yourself a little bit of extra play. But so I've sort of pulled it directly against. Now with this pegging point here, I'm going to pull it out and across at the same time. Again, just getting our distance away from the vehicle, just that much. Brilliant. So now we've kind of actually pegged the main part of it. We can work about it will probably freestand. So at this point here, we've got two inflatable tubes. So what we'll do is we'll grab our pump and pump it up. Now, it actually has what we call like a Boston valve. So the Boston valve itself, or not Boston valve, sorry, a dinghy style valve. So you can basically make sure you press that valve directly in, and the bayonet, it's like a bayonet kind of fitting on it. So what we can do is just basically make sure we've got the right adapter onto the pump. And then that will then, the crucial part is obviously press that valve directly in to make sure it's in the closed position, because there's nothing worse than pumping up, lo and behold, to find that it's still open, and as soon as you inflate it, all of your hard work is undone. I personally like to start with the tube closest to the vehicle, just because I find it makes it easier and it sort of distributes the weight a bit. So obviously we're at a high point here, we're just kind of increasing that high point as we kind of come directly out. Then we'll continue to the next pump here as well. Same kind of thing, just press that in, make sure the valve itself is obviously on close, pop that in, lock that on, so we're good to go from that point there. And then we just start pumping again. Might need a little bit of a hand just getting it up in position. Once we're there, disengage the pump. And then what we'll do is basically make sure it's physically up. There's just a couple of poles just to insert in the top section itself. So one pole just kind of braces that middle section itself. So we're going to pop that in nice and neatly. Spread that out. In the top. Just gives that a little bit extra tension to get our roof looking a little bit sharper. Once we're kind of at this point here, what we'll do is we'll just zip that front door up. So when we come to kind of just do the last bit of pegging, we'll make sure we're not kind of overstretching that front door really quite nicely. And then we can sort of peg it out directly. So it's up, it's nice and solid. We've got the tension quite nice and neatly onto it. We'll look around the bottom points to see if we need to kind of do any kind of pegging points. I think on the whole, we're pretty golden on that front. So we'll just peg the parts on opposite sides to one another, just to get that area which has got the ground sheet sort of fully kind of sewn in. So we'll just go do tension it again on the other side. And once we've kind of done that, we're just going to move our way around the pegging, doing the guy ropes, just to kind of get everything all tickety-boo in kind of order. Ideally, you've got different guy ropes, different points. The ones on the side here, you're going to peg kind of outwards, and the front here, you want to follow the front seam to bring it directly forward. Just kind of keeps it all belts and braces nice and tidy. It's quite an upright awning in its main kind of body. If you've got wind coming from a particular direction, I always recommend probably doing that first. Again, we'll peg against the other side there. One peg out to the side, and then one peg out for the front. And last, by no means least, we'll just do the front door. Keep it looking really quite nice and sharp. Best to kind of cross the pegging points over if you can as well. That just means that you've got equal tension. It means opening and closing the door is a lot easier. But on the whole front, we're up, we're ready to go. And that's kind of how you kind of pitch your sort of Cayman T2. Let's move on to now packing it away. So now we're going to move on to packing away the T2. We'll basically do the same sort of thing almost in reverse really. So we'll start by actually kind of leaving the main four corners of the actual awning itself pegged, and we'll just basically then take the guy ropes out around it. So for me, because we're connected to the top, we're just going to basically unpeg all the bits apart from the part of the vehicle and the front two corners. That way it kind of will keep the awning nice and neatly up, and we're just going to work our way around. What I've done is I've actually left the door partially open. This will allow air to escape from the awning itself, and it's not going to get kind of trapped in a big kind of balloon. So that works really quite nicely. Once we've kind of got all the pegging points out, I want to make sure I just obviously have taken that additional pole out of the main kind of living section. Because I'll tell you what, it won't pack away with that in it. And then we'll put that away. So now what we want to try and do really is kind of almost deflate the beams from the back towards the front. The reason I say this is mainly because it allows the air to then internally to be pushed out towards the front door, which we've obviously left open. So we'll just let that pop out, and then we're going to again do the same for the front one. Because we've actually got doors on either side, you're going to leave them partially open. It means it's much easier for the air to escape out towards the front or directly towards the back. Now it's deflated, what we'll just do is undo the last kind of 2 pegging points which we've got located at the front, slide it off the rail, and then we're going to fold it up nice and neatly. So off that comes. Now what I want to do is utilise the ground sheet that's obviously sewn into it, so we're going to kind of use that as a base. So if we kind of just pull that directly out, we'll fold the tunnel section back over on itself. That way, when we come to fold, we're just basically folding the ground sheet out directly. Now I want to fold really kind of about a bag size width really. So now because all the valves are located on the one side, I want to fold across towards that way. If in doubt, I'd always recommend going a little bit smaller than you think, because with each fold it will get a little bit of a fold. You just want to kind of press down on it just to get any of the excess air out of it. There you go. So then we'll give it a last bit of a press down, making sure we're tucking everything nice and neatly in. We've obviously pressed the button on the valve and it will remain open. That helps to kind of keep everything flowing out quite as it should. And then what we will do is put the bag at the end of the awning itself. Now I've gone towards that kind of front door which we left open. The reason being is that it allows the air to escape out quite nice and neatly. I'm actually going to utilise the poles as something to hold and lead around. Just means I get probably a much tighter roll to start with, and that is probably quite crucial because it's however you start means you kind of carry on in that sense. Working our way towards that point, keeping pressure directly over the top of it. And then, because we're almost directly over the bag itself, it means that we can just zip it up inside. And it's in we go. Simple as that. Got some compressing straps as well if you want to compress it, but on the whole, nice and easy, very simple. Doesn't take too much time to pack away and obviously pitch as we've kind of seen. So if you want more information on things, more the detailed side of things, we've got a separate review video talking about the Cayman T2, which you can check out on our website or via our YouTube channel. But really nice, simple, easy, perfect for a week or weekend trips. But like I say, always let us know what you think about the product in the comments box below. We've also got a split version of this video if you want to go into detail of everything, but that is kind of the pitching and packing tutorial video that we've done for the Outdoor Revolution Cayman Air T2 awning. Hopefully we'll see you again soon in our next Attwoolls Outdoors video review.